Destroy Lonely or Slum Sixes? Who's harder? Well, in 2021, the majority of underground fans, actually 68%, chose Slum Sixes. And he's cool, but over Destroy Lonely? Come on. And that picture is very representative of the underground in 2021. So let me take you back. 2021 was a year where many would argue that the underground rebounded. Not even in musical quality, but just the scene and group of rappers we'd see come up that would just skyrocket in popularity. And they were all young as hell too, so some of them were really kids. I'm talking about Baby Santana, who is now just Tana, Slum Sixes, Cash Dami, Young Fazo, Young Chris, even SSG Kobe, and established names in the underground like Summers and Can, who weren't as established back then actually, would gain thousands of fans due to all the hype from TikTok, a platform many underground fans have a love-hate relationship with. This was also the year Yeat blew up and when Sofego was dubbed as the next big rapper from the underground. And this was a great year. Half of the year we were still stuck inside, which I loved because that meant no school. If you had a job, well, my apologies. Hope you got your money up by now. But not only was it a year when I had 10 hours of free time every day and watched 2 to 3 movies daily and just wasted away, it was also a year when some kids decided to make music and would blow up. I guess all the time being inside the house just resulted in a lot more kids who'd normally be outside deciding to make music or just anything online in general. That's actually when I started uploading stuff to YouTube, just when the pandemic started. And not only were way more kids than usual making music, they were also making music for way longer than they normally would have time for, if that makes sense. And a lot of these kids got really good. Some of them are a couple of the rappers I'm going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to go over some of the most popular underground rappers from the 2021 class, that's what I'm going to call them, tell you what it was like seeing them come up, and where they are now, because in 2023, the climate of the underground is completely different. So let's start off with Baby Santana, now known as Tana. And I timestamped all the rappers in the description below, so if you don't like one of these guys, you can just skip them. The first time I heard Tana was Antisocial. When he put the song out, he was only 14, which is crazy. Bro was a middle schooler. And yeah, that's the first time I heard his music because other than some of Lil Shine's older music, I'm not trying to listen to little kids rap about guns or scamming or even love or actually just little kids period. Like, what do you know? Anyways, I heard it at first and then checked out Jetlag. I think Prada, the song he later remixed with Tekka after signing to him, was another one of his popular songs. And although I kind of liked Antisocial, I didn't really like Jetlag. I just thought it was alright. And around this time, a lot of his cover art was pictures of other rappers and stuff. You could just tell he was a kid, so I wasn't super turned on to his music or anything. But Antisocial was a really good song, and later on, Tana started to get pretty good. Meanwhile, Antisocial was his best song by far. All the yeah, whoa, I don't even know how to do it. You might know what I'm talking about. That stuff was all hard, and at the time they were calling it some dumb name called like Moshpit Rage. The song was actually produced by like a 13-year-old Majins. So yeah, these guys were all really good at a very young age. That's also when I found out about Slum Sixes, by the way. So then Tana dropped Antisocial 2 featuring a bunch of his other friends. And he also dropped a lot of other songs that aren't even on his page. He just kind of started flooding with music and his music became pretty good. Then he signed to Lil Tekka and just blew up from there. He got a Lyrical Lemonade video, became the youngest to perform at Rolling Loud, the youngest to be on Lyrical Lemonade, and scored one last hit off TikTok, Off the Leash with Young Chris, and has been doing pretty well for himself. So where is he now? Musically, he's way ahead of where he was. He finally found his voice, drops pretty good music, and I'm not gonna act like I listen to him like crazy, but he's doing well. He hasn't really had a big TikTok hit since Off the Leash, just some songs that caught on a little bit on the platform. He also dropped an album that was alright. There's one song with Trippie Redd on there. And he's fell out with his former best friend, Slum Sixes. But Tana's still playing shows like Rolling Loud. He's only 16, he's signed to Lil Tekka. It's safe to say he's in a good position, especially compared to some of these other guys I'm about to go over. Next up, we got Sofego. 2021 was Sofego's year. If you're a fan of him, you might be confused thinking bro only dropped one song on streaming platforms, where in the snippet he's doing questionable things with the mic. But he had dropped so much good music so frequently the years prior that he saw the fruits of his labor in 2021, both in popularity and in influence through some of these younger rappers as well. Commercially, it's his largest year. Just 2 weeks before the year began, he dropped After Me, his most anticipated project ever, and he did not miss one bit. That album was really good. Honestly, it's better than all the projects he's dropped since then. The largest song off that album was Off the Map, a Rage song, which today if you hear Rage, it's nothing special. It's actually very basic, but back then it was this new, kind of evolved form of Pierre Bourne sound, I guess you could say. So the song was stylistically ahead and did well numbers wise. Of course, I can't go without mentioning Knock Knock. I know Yeet had some big singles, which I'll talk about later, but I honestly believe Knock Knock was the largest song of the underground in 2021, even though it came out in 2019. Knock Knock as a song had a weird trajectory. It kind of blew up twice, by the way. It was part of Angelic 7, the project that Lil Tecca executive produced. That project also had a Summers Disc, by the way, Let the Girls Slay. By the way, that Tecca cosign was huge for his career. Anyways, Faygo had such a dominant run in 2019 and 2020 that in 2021 he kind of just coasted. He still dropped songs through some other hosting outlets on SoundCloud. I'll put some up. So Knock Knock blew up through TikTok and the rest was history. He got a Lyrical Lemonade video, a lot of his other songs blew up. Everyone, and I mean everyone, loved SoFaygo. I don't think anyone didn't think he was the next big thing. And Travis Scott even signed him. So Faygo was about to get some serious push, right? But unfortunately, as we all know, by the way, this is really sad too, because Faygo is one of my favorites from the underground 2020 to 2021. He fell off. He took a year-long hiatus while everyone else stayed in the trenches, and no, I don't mean the hood, I just mean as in keeping your nose down and working and putting out music. I'm not saying he was lazy, but Knock Knock instilled some confidence in him which he didn't really deserve yet, and he thought he could take a break as long as Cardi, which after Pink Hearts failed to even sell 7,000 copies, it reportedly sold much less, and musically wasn't anything crazy. He not only became a laughing stock, which is messed up because everyone making these jokes about SoFaygo were the same ones saying he was next up. He just wasn't the same musically. He was a shell of what he was before, and it kind of reminds me of Roddy Ricch and how after the box blew up, he thought he could do the same thing, except he dropped way worse music than Faygo, so the flop was expected. What's really sad about Faygo to me though is that when I discovered SoFaygo, you know that meme that goes around Twitter? He was special.
He was special.
That was Faygo. He was special. The vocal inflections, the crazy ad-libs, the flows this guy had, his voice was like melted butter. I know it sounds like I'm glazing, but he was good. And his music lyrically wasn't even super shallow at the time. He even talked about some real stuff. He was the full package. I remember when I listened to him for the first time and heard all his music, I thought he was insane. Songs like Hearse, Let the Girls Slay, Chava, Gear 2, they're too many to name. We're all just so good, so to see him drop something with absolutely no creativity, even though it was sonically good, like Pink Hearts, was kind of sad. Anyways, today SoFaygo's doing alright. He still has time, which is why I won't write him off just yet. His most recent single, Yay, is pretty good, and he's finally listening to fans who are asking him not even to bring back the old Faygo, because artists should always evolve no matter what, but he's using creative ad-libs and crazy vocal inflections again, sort of, which is cool. So let's be honest, he's not where he should be, but he could get there because, you know, he has the talent and he has a push. He signed to Travis Scott after all. So next I'm going to go over Cash Dami, Young Chris, and Young Fayzo, and I'm going to be super honest. I thought all three of these guys were trash at first, like really trash, like horrible, garbage, especially Fayzo, but I sort of changed my mind on them. Obviously Cash Dami had some cool songs. Young Chris, I really just thought this was NPC music, I'm not gonna lie. And Young Fayzo, I didn't like his music at all. I used to listen to all the Faygo only versions because I really didn't like his music, despite us both being Indian. So let's start with Cash Dami. Cash Dami, you might have seen this guy before he blew up off of TikTok. He was a TK clone, then he started making Plug and dropped some pretty good songs, Reparations, Trust Issues, and this album, Trust Issues, decent, not bad. He was kind of overhated. His sophomore album, Hypernova, not bad either. However, today he's not doing so great. A lot of his music recently you can tell is really inspired by doo-wop, the flows at least, and the music is not as good. Cash Dami's biggest songs were always like 1 minute and 30 seconds long, and there was like this catchy hook on a Plug beat. That was his formula, and ever since he switched it up, I guess it just hasn't been hitting. But once again, he's young. I honestly don't listen to him, so I can't really knock him. But is his career going great? It's objectively no. Young Chris, let's just get straight into it. I never listened to this guy, checked out some of his music, it was pretty mid in my opinion. I'll try again next year. I know a lot of people like him though, so I can't say he's that bad, just not for me. I like his song with Tana, Off the Leash. Actually, I just forgot, I do like another one of his songs, Blood on the Leaves. He originally wasn't gonna put the song out because of the racial implications or something to do with the sample, having a racist background, I don't even know. But he put it out because it went so crazy on TikTok, and I can't lie, he spazzed. Today, almost all his popular songs are from last year or 2021. So yeah, I think he peaked, but he's doing alright, and once again, these rappers are also young. You never know, but I was just never really a fan of him, to be honest. Okay, Young Fayzo. Once again, I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. I'm Indian, he's Indian, so when I heard there's an Indian rapper, I was like, bet. Then I heard his music and I was like, god damn, this dude is trash. But he got way better really quick. He dropped the song Flex Like This, which was alright. And since 2022, he's been making pretty good music. Young Fazo originally blew up to this song with Sofago, Adding, and he has another song with Sofago that's also one of his really big songs from earlier, and that song was all over TikTok in 2021. Fun fact, the producer of that song, Deliver the Crush, is now part of a group with his girlfriend called Snow Strippers. They have a song with Uzi, they're pretty cool. Fazo also has another large song, TTWLG, which blew up on TikTok as well, and he's just been dropping cool music here and there. Where is he now? He's in a pretty good spot. His songs are doing really well. His music has been better than ever. His career has objectively only went up, but he was never the largest out of this class of underground rappers from 2021 and still isn't. Yeat. Yeat was the largest rapper to come out of the underground and the most unexpected as well. I remember Yeat would just hang out with the rest of Slay World, and that's literally how I knew him. The first song I heard of him was a feature with Wildin in 2020 called La La La. I thought he was alright, by the way, nothing crazy. And literally all these comments are deleted now, which is funny, but they're all talking smack about Yeat because he was unknown at the time. Like, Wildin barely did features and kept his brand very rare, so for him to do a feature with Yeat meant a lot. Then I heard of him through this producer called Clibo. He had this song called Dead Rising, which he deleted now, I'll link it below, which I thought was pretty good. I remember I heard his feature on a song with Isaiah TG and Summers, also on a song called Zaza with Kankan and Goonie. The other song was called Money Fetish with Wildin. All pretty good songs actually, now that I'm looking back. He never really missed on any of those songs. He was just a rapper you'd see around them with cool music, that was it. And I remember he used to remix popular rap songs like Uzi songs, songs from Whole Lotta Red, and you can still find some on his archive page. Then randomly out of nowhere, his song Sorry About That started going crazy on TikTok. It was everywhere, and he just blew up. After that, every song he dropped that was mildly popular would go crazy on TikTok, and to this day it still does, because I mean, his music is just different. At the time, Sorry About That was so insane, the beat, his voice, the ad-libs, the flow, the way it blew up, everything. I remember the album was part of 4L. I actually checked out some of the songs because one of his friends that I followed posted it, and I liked some of the songs, but I didn't pay much mind to it. After Sorry About That blew up, I started listening to the album, along with all these other newer fans, some from TikTok, and this guy dropped one of the best albums of that year. Songs like Money Twerk, Off the Lot, Back to LA were some of the bigger songs, but not only was 4L good, Alive, the project he dropped before that, was even better in my opinion. And you can go back and see clips of him predicting his success on Instagram lives with like 10 people. It's kind of crazy to see.
So you're gonna be a star, that's what you're telling these motherfuckers. Stardom. Stardom. You for real?
Yeah, that's it.
No games.
No games.
How old is you?
19.
So
To me, 4L, I don't even like 4L. This sucked to me. But when I drop Up to Me, I'm after this one, when I signed, I'm finna blow up.
Anyways, after Sorry About That became a massive hit, he dropped Mad About That, which was also really good. Then his next big hit was Get Busy, and then he dropped Up to Me. And that album had a bunch of songs blow up on TikTok as well, like Deserve It, Turban, Trendy Way. And the largest, of course, Money So Big. The beat for that song was probably the most played audio on TikTok that year. It was like the instrumental behind so many videos, it's crazy. And since then, he's went on to sell albums in the tens of thousands of units. Life, an EP, sold 30K. Afterlife sold 54K. A lot of his popularity was from his lingo as well, and just his brand overall. Calling his fans and friends Twizzy instead of Twin. Using Tonka to describe his whip. It was a word before, he really just popularized it. The turban, which wasn't even a turban. He had his own unique branding, which fans, honestly just a bunch of white kids, really gravitated towards, and had some pretty insane music to back it up. Where is he today? He's literally one of the largest artists in the world, definitely the hottest rapper, and is outstreaming mainstream rappers that have been around for a while and are on paper much larger than him. Lastly, I'm going to talk about Slum Sixes, Destroy Lonely, Summers, Kankan, and Autumn really quickly, and then talk about the underground as a whole, and then just wrap the whole video up. Slum Sixes, alright, he did pretty well. He signed a joint deal with Republic Records through Zach Bia's label, Field Trip Records, and honestly, he didn't become huge or anything. He's changed his accent a little bit, you can tell he's grown, and musically he's grown a lot as well. The music he's been dropping recently has been way better than what he used to make too, by the way. As for where he is now, I have no idea. He's just doing his own thing and fell out with his former best friend, Tana. Destroy Lonely, Summers, Kankan, and Autumn. Why am I putting them all together? Because I can't keep writing. With the exception of Destroy Lonely, these guys were all kind of well known in the underground, and of course, they would get their fair share of songs on TikTok. Destroy Lonely with Bane, Summers with Just Can't, etc. They're all doing great in 2023. Actually, scratch that. They're doing the best, way better than these other rappers I talked about previously, who blew up off of TikTok and became one-hit wonders or two-hit wonders or like a one-year wonder. I don't know how to say it. and couldn't really sustain because they didn't have a fan base to back it up. And that just goes to show that artists with real fan bases are the ones that are gonna thrive after getting a huge song off TikTok. You can't really get around doing all the work. Lastly, I just want to say we'll probably never see another time like 2021, and thank God. In 2021, I was the age of those kids involved in that type of music. I was 16 or 15. And now that I'm 18, I know I'm really old, guys. I don't want to be listening to guys younger than me. So to finally answer the question, what happened to the 2021 underground? A few of them are doing better than they were in 2021. A few of them fell off. And from what it looks like, most of them are not going to be around in 2024. Because SoundCloud isn't big enough for both these guys and these guys. And these guys are kind of hard. Alright, have a nice day. Thanks for watching.